Imagine the heart-pounding shock of bursting through your front door after a grueling morning run. Sweat stinging your eyes under the relentless Miami sun, only to hear the sinister scrape of cardboard boxes echoing through your home like a thief in the night. That's exactly how it started for Sophia Reynolds, a fiery 17-year-old with dreams bigger than the Florida skyline. Little did she know, that ordinary Saturday in August would shatter her world and ignite a saga of betrayal, resilience, and ultimate triumph that would redefine what family truly means. Sophia slammed the door behind her, her running shoes squeaking on the polished tile floor of their upscale Miami Beach house. The air was thick with the scent of fresh coffee and something off, whispers slithering from her bedroom upstairs. Her phone buzzed. 10:43 a.m. Mom, Victoria, should be at her Pilates class, sipping green smoothies with her socialite friends. And Ethan, her slick stepdad, rarely stirred before noon on weekends, too busy nursing hangovers from client dinners. But there it was, the grating sound of packing tape ripping, followed by Ethan's oily voice. Victoria, label that box right, don't want any mix-ups. Her stomach twisted like a knot in a sailor's rope. Sophia crept up the stairs, heart thundering louder than the ocean waves crashing outside. The door to her room swung wide open, sunlight pouring in like an interrogator's spotlight. There knelt Victoria, her perfectly manicured nails sorting through Sophia's closet as if it were a garage sale. Ethan loomed over her, fiddling with his gold Rolex like he was timing a heist. What the hell is going on? Sophia's voice cracked, echoing off the white walls adorned with her physics posters and the faded photo of her dad from their last fishing trip. Victoria jumped, her hand fluttering to the massive sapphire necklace Ethan had gifted her last Christmas. Sophia, sweetie, we weren't expecting you back so soon. It was nearly 11 o'clock. But Sophia's eyes darted around, half her wardrobe stuffed into boxes, her calculus textbooks scattered like fallen soldiers, and her dad's ancient pocket calculator glinting accusingly on the floor. Why are you packing my stuff? She demanded, her voice rising like a storm surge. Ethan stepped forward, his designer loafers silent on the plush carpet. We've been talking about your future, kiddo. There's a prime opportunity waiting in Seattle. Seattle? The word tasted like salt water in her mouth, cold, distant, wrong. What opportunity? Victoria chimed in, folding one of Sophia's hoodies with robotic precision, avoiding eye contact. Your Aunt Becky has hooks at top schools up there. We figure a fresh start will help you spread those wings of yours. You're shipping me off. Sophia spat, her throat raw. Ethan smoothed his tie, that fake charm he used in his real estate deals oozing out. This is about better chances. Sophia, away from all those painful memories. But her gaze snagged on the blueprints sprawled across her desk, red circles around her room, scrawled with home office in Ethan's aggressive script. The room spun like a hurricane. Dad had only been gone 7 months, lung cancer stealing him away too soon. When? She forced out, lips numb. Your flight's tomorrow morning, Ethan said, checking his watch again. Becky's got dinner waiting. Tomorrow. They were erasing her tomorrow. A memory crashed in, Dad's frail hand in hers at the hospital. His voice a whisper. Stay tough, Soph. They can't steal your fire unless you hand it over. No, she said, louder than intended. Victoria's eyes sharpened, that old edge from childhood scoldings. This isn't up for debate. It's arranged, Ethan added, his tone laced with threat. We've been generous. But that ends if you fight this. Fancy going it alone at 17? The ultimatum hung heavy. No job, no savings, Dad's life insurance locked until she hit 21. Sophia scanned her room. Photos of her and Dad at science fairs. The worn copy of A Brief History of Time he'd given her for her 15th birthday. The blue ribbon from the state math Olympiad. They weren't just packing belongings, they were boxing up her proof of unconditional love. Fine, she muttered, defeat bitter on her tongue. I'll pack myself. Victoria beamed. That's my sensible girl. Becky will take great care of you. They left, Victoria's expensive perfume trailing like a toxic cloud. Sophia waited until their footsteps faded, then slipped into Mom's room. The jewelry box yielded its secret, Dad's battered fossil watch. The one Victoria claimed lost after the funeral. It felt alive against her skin as she pocketed it. They could ship her away. Pretend Dad never existed. But some things were untouchable. 24 hours later, Sophia stood at Miami International. A lone suitcase at her feet. Victoria and Ethan waved from security. Their smiles masks of relief. Ethan already on his phone. Probably lining up contractors for the office. She touched the watch. They can't steal your fire unless you hand it over. The flight attendant called her Ro. Shouldering her bag, she boarded without looking back. Seattle wasn't her choice. But anywhere beats staying unwanted. After landing in rainy Seattle, baggage claimed in a daze, Sophia's Uber arrived 10 minutes later. It snaked through manicured suburbs where every lawn screamed perfection. Mailboxes etched with family crests. The driver whistled, fancy digs. Her phone, still silent from Mom. 2 hours on, Aunt Becky's mansion loomed, a sleek modern fortress with glass walls and manicured hedges. Where dirt dared not tread and kids learned etiquette before algebra. You must be wiped out. Darling, Becky called across the driveway. Her voice pitched for the driver's ears. Stilettos clicking, she air-kissed Sophia's cheek. Uncle Victor appeared in the doorway. His face stoic behind rimless glasses. Locking eyes briefly before vanishing into his den. Cousins Dylan and Mia lingered in the foyer. Clad in designer threads. Smirks identical and cutting. Your spot's this way, Becky said, her floral scent cloying as they passed opulent guest suites. The hall narrowed to concrete. A steel door creaking opened to a converted utility room by the garage. A twin bed squeezed in. Mattress thin as paper. We made it cozy. Becky gestured at the bare bulb swinging overhead. Just $450 a month, family rate. Utilities extra. Naturally. Rent? Sophia gripped her suitcase. Knuckles paling. Slap. Later, rummaging in a rickety desk, she unearthed a faded photo. 2 young men. Arms slung around each other. Grinning wildly. Her breath hitched. Dad and Uncle Victor. Youthful joy she'd never witnessed. The photo vanished into her pocket as footsteps neared. Dinner was a ritual at the massive table. Becky presiding like a queen. Rules are straightforward. She sliced her salmon precisely. Curfew 9 p.m. no visitors. Kitchen access ends at 8. Laundry's $6 a load. Dylan snickered. Mia's knife scraped like nails on chalk. 2 weeks in, Sophia juggled shifts at the corner gas station and discount supermarket. Her schedule at Seattle Central High a cruel joke. AP Physics at dawn after midnight closings. Miss Reynolds. Mr. Hargrove's voice snapped her awake. Care to solve this? Equations blurred on the board. A whisper of, welfare kid, stung from behind. Dad's watch a cold anchor in her pocket. The library became her haven. Hiding among outdated encyclopedias. Cramming formulas between vending machine pretzels. Miss Larson, her chem teacher, slipped protein bars onto her desk. Fuel for that brilliant mind. She murmured, turning away. Cafeteria lady Mrs. Ortiz added extra apples during breakfast shifts. One morning, a yellow sticky on her locker, cramped script. Your dad would beam at your grit. She traced it until tears blurred. Acing her trig midterm felt like victory, until Becky intercepted her paycheck. Shared bills. She waved the envelope. Those late-night lights rack up. That night, hunting a lost notebook in Becky's office, Sophia glimpsed an email chain on the screen. Her name leapt out. Keep her grinding and drained. Victoria's reply. Insurance frozen till 21. Ensure she stays too wiped to probe. Another from Mom. Expenses noted. Wiring more next week. Hands trembling. Sophia backed out. Dylan's and Mia's laughter echoed from the kitchen. Garage rat and thrift store kicks? She fled to the driveway. Dad's old Jeep Cherokee lurking in shadows, paint chipped. Engine loyal. The key scorched her palm. The one secret from Becky. Numbers raced. $142 in hidden tips. 3 months till winter's bite. 4 years to Dad's insurance. The interior smelled of him. Engine grease and mint gum. Forehead on the wheel. She breathed memories of road trips and math riddles. They can't steal your fire unless you hand it over. But had they? 6 months later, College pamphlets shredded like confetti into the trash. Girls like you aim practical. Becky sneered. Forget fancy schools. Sophia's fists clenched. Seattle's rains had taught her to feign surrender. She nodded, watching her dreams mingle with garbage. That night, under cover of darkness, she packed a duffel. Essentials only, clothes. Dad's watch. A slim photo album. Tips tucked in her notebook. The Jeep embraced her. Seats worn with Dad's essence. First night, temps plunged. She parked behind Victor's coffee shop. Exhaust vents puffing warmth till closing. Breath fogging windows. She huddled under blankets. Shadows dancing on frost. Clock blinked 3:12 a.m. when coughs racked her. By dawn, throat like sandpaper. School mirror showed hollow eyes. Pallid skin. You good? Miss Larson asked after a near faceplant. Sophia forced a grin. Just cramming. The cough shadowed her gas shift. Breaths icy daggers. World-tilted stocking shelves. But she couldn't afford sick days. Home was wheels now. Wheels needed fuel. Fuel needed cash. Fever crested closing up. Registers swam. Faces melted. She staggered to the Jeep. Collapsing. Thermometer. 101.8 degrees Fahrenheit. Wind howled warnings. 5 below. Falling. She woke to blackness. Engine dead. Not even a click. Battery yielded to cold. Frost etched lethal beauty on glass. Hands shook too much for her phone. No one to call anyway. A rap on the window jolted her. Squinting through ice. Expecting cops or worse. Uncle Victor in the snow. Flashlight beam cutting night. Open up. Sophia. Fear-battled need. She unlocked. Victor slid in. Arctic blast following. He surveyed her setup. The backseat wardrobe. Dashboard shrine to Dad. Blanket nest. I've been watching, he said softly. Via shop cameras. Waiting to see your medal. Throat tight. Gonna tell Becky? He handed his phone. Footage of her Jeep nightly. Then older grainy clips. 2 teens in a similar car. Frost-kissed. Desperate. That's your dad and me. 35 years back. Same boat. He pocketed the phone. Needed to know if you had James's spark. Tears froze on lashes. Victor continued. Apartment over the coffee shop. Warm. Private. Rent covered by handling books evenings. Suspicion flared. Why? James would've for my kid. Some debts pay forward. He jump-started the Jeep with a spare key. Heat bloomed. A week of rest. Meds breaking fever in her new studio. Kitchenette. Bath. Blessed quiet. No Becky's barbs. Dylan's sneers. Victor taught ledgers nightly. Patience steady as brewing coffee. Numbers danced like equations with Dad. Grades soared with sleep. Cough faded. Hope flickered. First time Dylan hit the shop. Reeking of craft beer. Sophia balanced accounts. Charity cases new digs. He mocked. Dumping laundry. Wait. No. Coffee grounds? Wait. Adapting. He dumped a bag of beans mockingly. But old Sophia flinched. New one straightened. I earn mine. What about you, Dylan? Silence. Power shifted. That night, she added the teen photo of Dad and Victor to her shrine. Legacies in frost. Fever. Survival's quiet grace. Wind raged outside. But she was warm. Safe. James's daughter. Free. Numbers don't lie. At 2 a.m. Poring over records in the coffee shop office. Fluorescent hum her companion. Fingers traced transactions. Breadcrumbs to Ethan and Becky's hidden accounts. Months honing forensic skills here. A cough echoed. Victor shuffled in. 2 steaming mugs. Still digging? He set one down. Aroma-cutting detergent scent. Wait. Coffee beans. Just verifying Cascade Ventures transfers. She tapped a shady entry. They shifted $60,000 on Mia's birthday? Victor's face hardened. Teaching you this might be my best or worst call. She rotated the ledger. Drained college funds. Reserves. Employee bonuses. Chair creaked as he sat. Looking ancient. My own wife. 25 years. Knock. Dylan in the door. Face grim. Holding Becky's tablet. You both need this. Texts between Becky and Ethan sprawled. Cruel jokes on Victoria's trust. Victor's loyalty. Clueless kids. More. Mia behind. Envelope clutched. Found in Mom's desk. my MIT acceptance. She hid it. Lights flickered. Mia slumped. Tears streaming. 6 months ago. She'd die before crying here. Now, shoulder to shoulder with Dylan. Looking to Sophia for answers. Not just business theft. Sophia said steady. Your futures too. What now? Dylan asked. Sophia thumbed Dad's watch. We fight smart. Weeks blurred. Evidence hunts by day. Docs by night. Dylan mastered stealth file copies. Mia ghosted. Recording calls, feigning texts. Becky sensed shift. Lashing wild. Accusing Sophia of theft to Victor. Cutting Victoria's support. School rumors of instability. Let him spin. Sophia told them over stale coffee. Each lies a nail. 3 weeks. Victor's lawyer nodded grimly at proof. FBI fraud unit struck swift. At Mia's 18th bash. The house glittered, champagne towers. Catered feasts. Sophia watched from shadows as Victoria and Ethan arrived. Picture-perfect concern. Becky tapped glass. To family. Legacy. Bonds. Doorbell. FBI agents. Lawyer trailing. Glass shattered. Rebecca Sinclair. Questions on Cascade accounts. Ethan bolted. Collided with off-duty cop from the shop. Cuffs clicked. Victoria crumpled. Statements revealing drained trusts. Even hers. How could you? Becky wailed. Mascara rivers. Sophia twisted you. Dylan stepped up. Mia beside. No. Mom. You did. Cuffs on Ethan echoed. Through windows. Media swarmed. Headlines tomorrow. Real estate mogul busted in $1 million scam. Justice tasted ashy. But Victor's squeeze reminded. Not alone. Hour later. House silent. Dylan slouched. Mia paced. Night deepened post-arrests. Sophia found envelope in Victor's desk. Dad's script. Watch my girl. Vic. Victoria picks cash over kin. But Soph's got your grit. She's never solo. Tracing words. Tears fell. Kitchen. Dylan and Mia bickering pizza toppings. Victor with root beer stash. Sometimes. Family builds from ruins. What next? Mia cracked. Victor. Your call. Wreckage. 3 teens. Futures looted. Crash at mine. Sophia offered. Pull out couch. We'll manage. Dylan. For real? Shop needs hands, if you learn. 2 weeks. Dylan fixed espresso machines. Mech-knack shining. Mia guided customers on app payments. Smile real. Sophia reconciled books. Numbers pure, no shadows. Gift like your dad's. Victor said. Door chimed. Victoria. Designer duds swapped for basics. Eyeing. Help wanted. Sophia. Can we talk? Desperation behind smile. Sophia studied. Faded makeup. Hollow eyes. Nothing left. I'm your mom, I aired. But. You chose Ethan's wallet over me. Doors there. Months of courts. Sophia testified on hidden ledgers. Steady. Dylan on vanished funds. Mia on buried letters. Ethan and Becky blamed each other. Lawyers spinning, but proof roared. Judge. Betrayal of trust. 18 years Ethan. 14 Becky. Victory odd. Not sweet. Evening. Quartet in apartment. Sophia's GED. UW acceptance. Full ride. To Reynolds Sinclair bruise. Victor toasted. Papers out. Official succession. You earned it. Mia gasped. Dylan dropped slice. But we're not. Family? Built. Not born. Night. Envelope from Arizona rehab. Victoria's hand. Unopened on desk as Sophia tallied. Numbers true. Neon. Reynolds Sinclair. Glowed. Tomorrow for letters. Tonight. Business and kin. 4 years on. Sun streamed into Sophia's office. Photos chronicling rise. Second shop opening. Dylan mentoring youth mechanics. Mia keying new tenants. Business bloomed. Cafes with community programs. News crew wrapped. From streets to success. Family empire uplifts. Victor and Door. Foundation meet? Table. Dylan's engineering texts. Grease-flecked nails. Mia juggling ops. New hire from shelter starts. She said. Heart tug. Sophia knew those eyes. Sunday dinner at hers. Dylan's take on Dad's chili. Dad's recipe, warmed now. Texts from Victoria. Post-rehab. Campus job. Last coffee meet, she spoke of missing James. Tears genuine? Time to cemetery. Victor brushed leaves. James pushed my first shop. Even down and out need coffee and warmth. Jeep carried them. Once shelter. Now chariot. At grave, Sophia placed watch. Don't need this to remember. Dad. We built more. Camera clicked. Unlikely clan in sun. Reflection later. Dad's eyes beside hers. They tossed me. But we rose. Keys jingled. Through windows. New hire stocked. Tomorrow. Teach margins. Tonight. Burned chili. Wrong wine. Victor's tales. Maybe Victoria's call. Uncertain. Trying. Picture this. It's 2 a.m. in a dimly lit coffee shop office in rainy Seattle, where the scent of fresh ground beans battles the musty odor of old ledgers. Sophia Reynolds. Our 17-year-old heroine with a fire that no betrayal could extinguish. Hunches over stacks of financial records. Her fingers flying across a calculator like a detective closing in on a killer. Numbers don't lie, she whispers to herself, echoing her late father's mantra. But tonight, those numbers are screaming bloody murder, revealing a web of deceit spun by the very people who were supposed to protect her. Little does she know, this midnight sleuthing is about to unite unlikely allies, topple empires of greed, and forge a family from the ashes of treachery. Buckle up, because what happens next is a roller coaster of cunning plots, heart-pounding confrontations, and triumphant redemption that will keep you glued till the very end. Sophia's eyes burned from hours under the flickering fluorescent lights. But she couldn't stop. Each column of transactions was a breadcrumb trail leading straight to Ethan and Becky's secret offshore accounts. For 3 months, she'd honed her hacking and forensic accounting skills in this tiny sanctuary above Victor's coffee shop. Skills she'd picked up from late-night online tutorials and her dad's old math puzzles. A suspicious entry caught her eye. A $50 transfer disguised as consulting fees on Dylan's birthday last year. Gotcha, she muttered, circling it in red pen. A cough echoed through the empty shop below, making her freeze like a deer in headlights. Her hands hovered over the paperwork until Uncle Victor's familiar shuffle reached her ears. He paused in the doorway. 2 steaming mugs of French roast casting long shadows on the linoleum floor. Still burning the midnight oil? He asked, setting 1 cup beside her. The rich aroma cut through the chemical tang of coffee filters stacked nearby. Just double-checking the Cascade Ventures transfers, Sophia replied, tapping her pen against the damning entry. Did you know they moved $60,000 on Mia's birthday? It's like they're celebrating by stealing from their own kids. Victor's weathered face tightened, the lines around his eyes deepening. At 62, he looked every bit the battle-worn entrepreneur who'd built his chain of cozy coffee spots from nothing. Teaching you forensic accounting might be the biggest mistake of my career, or the smartest investment I've ever made, he said with a wry smile. But his voice carried the weight of betrayal. Sophia turned the ledger so he could see her meticulous notations, drained college funds for Dylan and Mia, siphoned business reserves that could have funded employee raises. Even the holiday bonus account meant for the baristas who'd stuck with Victor through lean times. The ancient office chair creaked as he sank into it, suddenly looking all of his years. My own wife, he murmured, his coffee cup trembling slightly. 25 years of marriage. And this? Before Sophia could respond, a sharp knock rattled the office door, sending her heart into overdrive. Dylan stood in the frame, his usual cocky smirk replaced by a storm cloud of fury. He held up Becky's rose gold iPad, knuckles white against the case. You two need to see this, he said, his voice cracking like thunder. Right now. Mia appeared behind him, clutching a wrinkled envelope, her designer makeup smudged from what looked like fresh tears. The texts between Becky and Ethan filled the screen, timestamps stretching back months like a timeline of treachery. Sophia's stomach churned at their casual cruelty, the way they joked about Victoria's blind trust, Victor's pathetic dedication, and how the stupid kids never suspected a thing. One message from Ethan read, "Keep the garage rat busy. She'll crack before she hits 21 and claims that insurance payout." Becky's reply, "Done. She's too exhausted to sniff around." There were spreadsheets attached, detailing siphoned funds funneled into luxury vacations and hidden real estate deals. "There's more," Mia whispered, handing over the envelope. "I found this buried in Mom's desk drawer. My acceptance letter to Stanford. She never told me I got in. Said I wasn't cut out for it." The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting harsh shadows across Mia's tear-streaked face. 6 months ago, she would have rather jumped off the Space Needle than show vulnerability in front of Sophia. Now, she slumped against the filing cabinet, shoulder to shoulder with her brother, both looking at Sophia like she held the map out of this nightmare. "They're not just stealing from the business," Sophia said, her voice steadier than she felt despite the rage boiling inside. "They're robbing your futures, college dreams, independence, everything." The room fell silent, the only sound the distant patter of Seattle rain against the windows. Dylan's question shattered the quiet, hanging in the stale air like a challenge. "What do we do now?" Sophia pulled her father's old fossil watch from her pocket, running her thumb across its scratched face for strength. It ticked steadily, a reminder of James's last words. "We fight back," she said, eyes fierce. "But we have to be smarter than they are. No rash moves, just cold, hard evidence." The next 2 weeks blurred into a frenzied covert operation that could rival any spy thriller. By day, they played normal. Sophia brewed lattes and balanced the shop's books. Dylan tinkered with broken espresso machines in the back. Mia flashed fake smiles while restocking pastries. But nights were war rooms, huddled in the apartment above, poring over copied bank statements and encrypted emails. Dylan, with his tech-savvy streak from gaming marathons, mastered the art of duplicating files without leaving digital footprints. Using anonymous apps to snapshot Becky's phone during family dinners, Mia transformed into a silent operative, her phone hidden in oversized pockets, recording whispered phone calls while pretending to scroll Instagram. But Becky sensed the shift in the air, like a shark smelling blood. Her attacks grew desperate and wild. She cornered Victor in his den one evening, spinning wild tales about catching Sophia pocketing cash from the register. "She's unstable. Victor probably resents us for taking her in." When that failed to stick, she dialed Victoria, who promptly cut off the meager support checks without so much as a text explanation. Rumors slithered through Seattle Central High like venom. Sophia was unhinged, on drugs, a troublemaker who'd bring down the family business. Behind closed doors, Becky floated the idea of converting the upstairs apartment back to storage. "We could use the space. And she's clearly not grateful." "Let them talk," Sophia told Dylan and Mia over lukewarm vending machine mochas during a late-night strategy session. "Every lie they spit is just another nail in their own coffins. We've got the proof, they've got nothing but smoke." And proof they had. Wire transfers to shell companies in the Caymans. Forged signatures on loan documents. Emails plotting to hide assets from taxes. Victor's lawyer, a sharp-eyed veteran named Ms. Harlan, reviewed their dossier with grim satisfaction. "This isn't just embezzlement," she said over a secure video call. "It's fraud on a grand scale, wire fraud, money laundering, theft of educational funds. The FBI will eat this up." The feds moved faster than a Seattle downpour. By the time Mia's 18th birthday rolled around, everything was primed like a powder keg. The party turned Becky and Victor's waterfront mansion into a grotesque spectacle of excess. Crystal champagne flutes twinkling under imported chandeliers. Silver platters of caviar and artisanal cheeses circulating on the arms of uniformed waiters. Guests mingled in designer gowns and tuxes, real estate moguls, socialites, even a few local politicians Ethan had schmoozed for deals. Sophia watched from a shadowed corner, her simple black dress a stark contrast to the opulence. Heart-pounding as Victoria and Ethan made their grand entrance. Mom looked every inch the concerned relative. Her sapphire bracelet, bought with pilfered funds, glinting as she air-kissed Becky's cheeks. Ethan's loafers squeaked on the marble floors, his smile as polished as his Rolex. Becky tapped her flute with a silver spoon, calling for attention. "Today, we celebrate family," she purred, voice dripping with honey-laced poison. "Legacy, integrity, The unbreakable values that bind us together. The doorbell chimed like a death knell. 2 FBI agents in crisp dark suits stepped into the foyer. Flanked by Ms. Harlan, a champagne glass slipped from Becky's fingers, shattering against the imported tile in a spray of shards and bubbles. Rebecca Sinclair, the lead agent announced, her badge flashing like lightning. We have questions regarding irregularities in the Cascade Ventures accounts. Chaos erupted. Ethan bolted for the French doors leading to the patio, his face paling as he shoved past a waiter. He made it 3 frantic steps before colliding with an off-duty officer, who moonlighted as security at Victor's flagship coffee shop. The man grabbed Ethan's arm with practiced ease. Going somewhere, Mr. Hayes? The sound of handcuffs clicking shut sliced through the shocked murmurs like a knife. Becky shrieked, mascara streaming down her face in black rivers. This is outrageous. I demand my attorney. But the agents were unmoved, reading rights as they cuffed her too. Victoria crumpled into a velvet armchair, her manicured fingers trembling as she clutched her purse, the one Ethan had gifted, with money skimmed from Sophia's trust fund. All accounts frozen, the agent declared, scanning his tablet. Charges include wire fraud, embezzlement, tax evasion, and theft of dependent education funds. He glanced at the family portraits lining the walls, smiling faces now mocking the ruin. Quite the family legacy. Becky whirled on Victor, spit flying. How could you? Sophia manipulated you, turned you against your own wife. But Dylan stepped forward, Mia at his side like a united front. No, Mom, Dylan said, voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. You did this to yourself. To all of us. The cuffs echoed one last time as Ethan was led out, scuffing his precious shoes on the threshold. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, Sophia watched reporters swarm the FBI vans, cameras flashing like paparazzi at a scandal. Tomorrow's headlines burned in her mind. Seattle real estate tycoon and wife busted in multi-million-dollar family fraud scheme. Justice felt hollow at first, like ashes after a bonfire. But then Victor squeezed her shoulder, his grip warm and reassuring. You did good, kid, he whispered. James would be proud. In that moment, she realized, she wasn't alone anymore. An hour later, the mansion's silence was thick enough to choke on. The party debris scattered like battlefield remnants, half-eaten hors d'oeuvres. Toppled glasses, abandoned heels. Dylan slouched into a kitchen chair at the massive granite island, while Mia paced between the high-end appliances, her heels clicking like a metronome of anxiety. None of them knew what to do in this void where their false security had once thrived. Victor busied himself brewing a fresh pot of coffee, the familiar gurgle a small anchor in the storm. Later that night, after the last agent departed with boxes of seized documents, Sophia rifled through Victor's desk in the den, seeking some semblance of closure. Tucked in a locked drawer was an envelope, her father's handwriting flowing across the page in bold blue ink. Watch over my daughter, old friend. Victoria will always choose money over blood, she's wired that way. But Sophia has your unbreakable grit in her bones. Make sure she knows she's never truly alone. Sophia traced the words with trembling fingers, tears blurring the ink. Her dad had seen it coming, had planted this safety net even from his hospital bed. The sound of Dylan and Mia arguing over pizza toppings, pepperoni versus veggies, drifted up from the kitchen. A strangely normal bicker in the chaos. Victor's heavy tread on the stairs signaled he was bringing his secret stash of craft root beers. And just like that, Sophia realized, sometimes, the family you build from broken pieces shines brighter than the one you're born into. What happens now? Mia's voice cracked from the kitchen, raw with uncertainty. Victor cleared his throat, setting down the sodas with a clink. That depends on what you three want to make of it. Sophia looked around at the wreckage, the 3 young adults with futures ransacked by those meant to safeguard them. The apartment above the coffee shop suddenly felt like a palace of possibilities. You can crash with me, she offered, surprising even herself. It's cozy, but there's a pull-out couch and plenty of floor space. We'll figure it out together. Dylan's head lifted, eyes wide. Really? After everything we've put you through? It's small, Sophia admitted with a half smile. But the coffee's endless. And we'll make it work. Mia stopped pacing, her expression softening. But how? With the business in limbo. Victor interjected, his voice firm. The shops always need hands, if you're willing to learn the ropes. Brewing, inventory, customer charm. It's honest work. And it's ours to rebuild. 2 weeks later, Sophia watched from the front counter as Dylan repaired a finicky espresso machine with surprisingly steady hands. His natural knack for mechanics emerging like a hidden talent unearthed. Grease smudged his fingers, but his focus was laser-sharp, muttering curses and triumphs as steam hissed victoriously. Across the bustling shop, Mia explained the new mobile payment app to an elderly regular. Her smile genuine for the first time Sophia could recall. No trace of the former sneer. Just patient guidance and a warm laugh when the customer finally got it. Sophia sat at the register, reconciling the day's books. Victor's trust in her making the numbers align with pristine honesty. No hidden slush funds. No missing deposits. Just transparent ledgers reflecting hard-earned profits. You've got a real gift for this, Victor said, appearing beside her with a fresh Americano. Just like your dad did with his engineering puzzles. He could make sense of chaos like no one else. Before she could reply, the bell above the door tinkled. Victoria stepped inside, her once impeccable designer outfits swapped for off-the-rack basics from a department store sale. Her eyes darted around the cozy space, the mismatched mugs, the chalkboard menu of daily specials, the "Help Wanted" sign in the window. Sophia, she said, twisting her hands together nervously. I was hoping we could talk. About everything. Sophia studied her mother's face, the smudged mascara, the roots showing through faded highlights, the desperation lurking behind that practiced smile. A part of her ached for the mom she'd lost long before the fraud. But another part, the stronger one, remembered the abandonment. There's nothing left to say, Sophia replied coolly, turning back to her ledger. Please, sweetheart, Victoria pleaded, her voice cracking. I know I made terrible mistakes. But I'm your mother. I didn't know the full extent of what Ethan was doing, I swear. Sophia met her gaze, unflinching. You knew enough to ship me away. To let them drain what Dad left for me. You stopped being my mom the day you chose his wallet over your own daughter. Victoria's face crumpled like tissue paper. Sophia, But Sophia cut her off gently but firmly. The door's that way, Mom. Go figure out your own fresh start. 2 months blurred in a whirlwind of court appearances and media frenzy. Sophia testified about the hidden accounts she'd uncovered. Her voice steady as she detailed the financial abuse step by step. Exhibits projected on courtroom screens for all to see. Dylan described discovering his college fund evaporated into thin air, his hands shaking as he held up the forged statements. Mia recounted the buried acceptance letters, her testimony laced with quiet fury over dreams deferred. Ethan and Becky spent the trial pointing fingers at each other, their high-priced lawyers weaving tales of manipulation and coercion. But the mountain of evidence spoke louder than any spin, bank records, emails, audio clips from Mia's stealth recordings. The judge, a no-nonsense woman with steel gray hair, called it an extraordinary breach of family trust. A betrayal that strikes at the heart of what society holds sacred. Sentences dropped like hammers. 18 years for Ethan on multiple counts. 14 for Becky. Sophia didn't smile as they were led away in shackles, their designer clothes replaced by orange jumpsuits. Victory tasted different than imagined, not sweet revenge, but a quiet closure, like finally exhaling after holding your breath underwater too long. That evening, the quartet, Sophia, Dylan, Mia, and Victor, gathered in the cramped apartment. The air thick with the scent of takeout pizza and possibility. A framed GED certificate with Sophia's name sat on the coffee table beside an acceptance letter from the University of Washington's Business School, full scholarship. Honors program. To new beginnings. Victor raised his coffee mug in a toast, his eyes crinkling with pride. He pulled out a stack of legal papers. And to making it official, the Reynolds Sinclair Bruise Enterprise. Sophia blinked. What? Victor grinned. I'm drawing up a proper succession plan. The business needs fresh blood. And you three have more than earned your shares. Mia gasped, covering her mouth. Dylan dropped his pizza slice mid-bite. But we're not even family? Victor finished, his voice warm. Family isn't just blood, kids. It's what you build together. Through fire and rain. You've proven that 100 times over. Later that night, after Dylan and Mia headed downstairs to lock up the shop, Dylan wiping counters with newfound purpose, Mia rearranging the pastry display with artistic flair, Sophia found an envelope in her mailbox. The return address: a rehabilitation center in sunny Arizona. Victoria's handwriting, neat but hesitant. She held it, feeling its slight weight. Inside could be more excuses. Fresh manipulations. Or perhaps something raw and real. For now, it sat unopened on her desk as she tallied the day's receipts, each number falling perfectly into place. Outside, the coffee shop's neon sign glowed steadily against the Seattle drizzle. Reynolds Sinclair Brews, where every cup tells a story. Tomorrow, she'd decide about the letter. Tonight, she had ledgers to balance, a budding empire to nurture, and a family, chosen, fierce, unbreakable, to cherish. Fast forward 4 years, and the morning sun streams through the floor-to-ceiling windows of Sophia's corner office in the flagship Reynolds Sinclair Brews headquarters, a sleek, eco-friendly building overlooking Puget Sound. The space hums with energy. Framed photos line the walls, each a chapter in their epic rise. There's the ribbon cutting for their third location in bustling downtown Seattle. Dylan beaming as he unveils a custom roasted blend named James's Java, in honor of Sophia's dad. Another shows Mia handing keys to a new resident in their affordable housing annex, apartments above the shops reserved for at-risk youth, complete with mentorship programs, and one of Victor, now semi-retired but ever the patriarch, teaching a barista class to local teens. The coffee shop downstairs buzzes with morning rush, the whir of grinders, the hiss of steam wands, the chatter of customers from all walks, tech bros on laptops, families with strollers, even a group of high schoolers studying for exams over free study hour lattes. The scent of fresh roast wafts up, mingling with the clean, invigorating aroma of success built on integrity. A local news crew packs up after filming a segment on their youth entrepreneurship initiative, From Homelessness to Hope: How One Family's Coffee Empire is Brewing Change. The reporter's words linger. Sophia Reynolds turned personal betrayal into communal triumph, proving that resilience isn't just surviving, it's thriving. Victor appears in her doorway, his silver hair catching the light, a proud grin on his face. Ready for the foundation board meeting? Sophia gathers her laptop and follows him to the conference room, where Dylan and Mia wait. Dylan's engineering textbooks sprawl across the table, advanced concepts on sustainable machinery that make Sophia's head spin, but his fingers bear traces of coffee grounds. A nod to his hands-on role in designing eco-friendly roasters. Mia, now operations manager extraordinaire, juggles schedules on her tablet, coordinating shifts across their 5 locations with effortless grace. Her once sharp edges have softened into purposeful leadership, her smile lighting up as she announces, "The new hire starts today, the girl from the shelter. She's got that same spark you had, Soph." Sophia's heart squeezes in recognition. Last week, the teen arrived with a battered backpack and eyes hollow from hardship, echoes of Sophia's own arrival in Seattle. Today, she'll get a job slinging espressos, an apartment upstairs, and a shot at rebuilding. Just as Victor had given Sophia. Sunday dinner at my place, Dylan declares, closing his book with a thud. I'm tackling Dad's famous chili recipe, extra spice this time. The words, Dad's recipe, no longer sting like salt in a wound. They warm like a comforting brew on a rainy day. Their weekly gatherings have evolved into genuine family rituals, sharing wins and woes over home-cooked meals, with a therapist's advice on healthy communication woven in. Between bites last week, they'd laughed about old rivalries, cried over lingering scars, and planned expansions. A mobile coffee truck for community events, scholarships for STEM-interested youth in James's name. A text lights up Sophia's phone. Victoria, out of rehab for 2 years now, working a steady job in a college cafeteria near Dylan's campus. Her messages come like clockwork every Tuesday, short, careful bridges of, "Thinking of you," or proud of your latest shop. Last week, they met for awkward coffee, Sophia's treat. The silence stretched until Victoria finally spoke of missing James. Her tears seeming authentic for once. Unmasked by makeup or manipulation. Time to roll, Victor says, checking his watch. A simple Timex. Much like the one Sophia once carried. They pile into her SUV. No longer a makeshift shelter but a reliable chariot for family outings. The drive to the cemetery winds through emerald hills. Spring blooms dotting the landscape. James's granite marker stands sentinel. Etched with, beloved father. Eternal optimist. Victor kneels to brush away fallen petals. His voice soft. Remember when James convinced me to open that first shop? Said even down on their luck folks deserve a hot cup and a safe spot to dream. That sounds just like Dad. Sophia replies. Her voice holding steady as she reaches into her pocket. The old fossil watch feels lighter now. Its weight transformed from burden to talisman. She places it gently beside a bouquet of wildflowers. I don't need this to remember you anymore. Dad, we've built something bigger than memories, a legacy of second chances. Dylan's camera clicks, capturing the moment. Victor's quiet pride. Mia's arm linked through Sophia's. The afternoon sun painting their unlikely family in golden hues of hope and possibility. Not the family she was born into, but the one that chose her back, forged in betrayal's fire. Tempered by trust's hammer. Later, locking up the office, Sophia catches her reflection in the darkened window. For a split second, another face hovers beside hers. Dad's kind eyes. His determined smile mirroring her own. They tried to break me. Dad, she whispers to the glass. But we rose stronger. The keys jingle in her hand as she steps into the evening cool. Through the shop windows, she spots the new hire arranging mugs with careful determination. Tomorrow, Sophia will teach her about profit margins, customer connections, and brewing dreams from beans. But tonight belongs to family. Dylan's potentially scorched chili. Mia's inevitably mismatched wine. Victor's well-worn stories retold for the 100th time. Victoria might even call, her voice still tentative but trying harder each time. And that's exactly how it should be. Because the best families aren't handed to you on a silver platter, they're crafted from shattered pieces. Mended with grit and love. Emerging unbreakable. In a world of facades and frauds. Sophia's story proves one truth. When life brews you bitter beans, grind them into something extraordinary. Stay tuned for more tales of triumph, because every cup has a story. And this one's just getting started.